I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we have the NFL Week 4 box score results. Pittsburgh Steelers 24, Indianapolis Colts 27. Indianapolis Colts defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers by 3 points at home, moving to 2-2 on the season, giving the Steelers their first loss of the season. Let's look at some of the box score stats. You can see the Steelers had one more first down, 23-22 passing first downs. Colts had 13. Steelers had 10 rushing first downs. Justin Fields was running the ball a lot. Third down efficiency wasn't terrible for everybody. Steelers 6 for 13. Colts 8 for 15. Steelers did go 0 for 2 on fourth down. The Colts did not attempt a fourth down play. 4 more plays for the Steelers, 68-64. Steelers went over 400 total offensive yards in this play. Both teams had 11 drives. Very evenly scored game. My opinion, the best game of NFL Week 4. Very exciting game here. We're not going to go over the passing yards because that includes stats. Fields was 22 for 34. The Colts were 19 for 30. I say the Colts because the Colts had 2 quarterbacks in this game. Look at pass yards per play. Both teams were above 7 yards, right? So, and then you can see the Steelers, Fields got sacked 4 times, right, for minus 30 yards. The Colts got sacked twice for minus 14 yards. Both teams ran over 100 yards. You don't see that in many games. Some teams I don't think has even run for 100 yards game this season. Both teams in this game ran for over 100 yards. Steelers 122, Colts 132. Over 4 yards rushing per team. Penalties, not too many penalties. Steelers were over 50 yards, 6 penalties. Colts 4 penalties for 38 yards. You can see one of the very big differences in this game, why the Colts probably did win this game, was the 2 fumbles lost by the Steelers. I know Fields lost a fumble. I can't remember the other player, but I do remember Fields did lose a fumble in this game. Steelers actually had the ball. They had time of possession, 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes more than the Colts. Let's go over some of the player stats. You can see this game started pretty ugly for the Steelers in the first quarter. The Colts scored 2 touchdowns, right? The Steelers did not score any points in the first quarter, and I think the Steelers were down. I believe they were down like 17 points, and then they finally got a late field goal in that third quarter, scored it in the second quarter, excuse me. In the third quarter, Steelers scored a touchdown, and then in the fourth quarter, Steelers were really trying to come back in this game. They put up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but it was not enough to get them the win. Let's check out some of the player stats here. Justin Fields, 22 for 34, not terrible. That's not bad at all in my opinion. Over 300 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. I think he ran for 2 touchdowns, and he did run for 2 touchdowns in this game. You can see Harris. You probably want Harris to run the ball a little bit more than 13 times, especially if Justin Fields is gonna run the ball 10 times. Fields had 2 touchdowns in this game. I know he had a fumble in this game. It was a terrible, horrible fumble in that game, right? The Fields fumble. And then Pickens. Look at George Pickens. 11 targets, 7 receptions, 113 yards. One of my favorite numbers. I love 113, of course. That's a pretty good game for Pickens. Pat had 1 touchdown, and then Fields had 2 rushing touchdowns. Did they miss any field goals in this game? Let me see. Nope. Field goals were fine. So, those 2 turnovers, right? Who else? Oh, Pickens. George Pickens lost a fumble also. Yeah, this is 3 fumbles. I don't know if Fields fumbled the ball twice. I know he fumbled at least once and turned the ball over, and I forgot about the George Pickens turnover in this game. I remember, actually, now that I think about it, it was a crazy play because he broke a tackle, he kept running, and then at the end of the play, he fumbled it. So, that was disappointing. I think Pittsburgh Steelers clearly could have won this game. Those two fumbles were basically the difference maker here. But if you look at the Colts, you see Anthony Richardson was 3 for 4, but he got injured early in this game. I believe it was in the first quarter that Anthony Richardson got injured. I think he came back, but then he left again or something like that. But Joe Flacco ended the game, won the game for the Colts, 16 for 27, 2 touchdowns, right? No interceptions. Flacco did get sacked twice for 14 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, over 133 rushing yards for the Indianapolis Colts. You see Pittman Jr., wow, look at his numbers. 9 targets, 6 receptions, 113 yards. There goes that number again, 113, of course. So, yeah, I mean, a good game for the Indianapolis Colts. You can see their field goal kicker did miss 1 field goal in this game, kicked or 3 extra points good. But yeah, a pretty close game, an entertaining game. One of the games that the Pittsburgh Steelers, they can't be too disappointed they lost. They could have won this game. You definitely want to win games when the backup quarterback comes in. But, especially because the Steelers got off to such a they were down 17-0, right? So they were just not awake. You can't just blame the players. You got to blame the coaching on that because the Pittsburgh Steelers just started this game off so slow, right? They started off down 17 points, so only lose by 3 points. Close game. And then those 2 fumbles that they lost, so many things went against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they only lost by 3. Not the worst loss in the world. They play the Pittsburgh Steelers next weekend. Let me see. I think it's the Cowboys, right? NFL Week 5. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys coming off of a win versus the New York Giants last Thursday, NFL Week 4. So Cowboys on a winning streak will be going to Pittsburgh. We'll see if the Cowboys could win that game. Cowboys have had a ton of trouble stopping the run this year. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are definitely going to run the ball on the Cowboys next week. And the Indianapolis Colts, let me see who the Colts play. The Colts play the Jaguars. Wow, Jaguars are 0 for 4. I think they've had 3 losses on the road, right? So now Jaguars are playing at home, right? So don't just count them off because, they're going to have some type of motivation there. And then we have to see what's happening with the Anthony Richardson injury. Will they keep him out? Will he be recovered? Will Joe Flacco step in and just win another game for the Colts? But let me know your opinion of this story. Were you rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Were you rooting for the Indianapolis Colts? I am Jason. The world is yours. Today we had the NFL Week 4 box score results. Indianapolis Colts defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-24. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.